It's 12.5.
Yeah, we had a contract for 2025 for the promotion process, and she went back to the 2023 promotion process pricing.
Correct,
as
yeah.
you say.
I did find, it was 12.5 previously, and she went back to 9.8. So it was a $2,700 difference. And that brings us under the budget that we could approve for that. That was, I guess, left to approve for that. She did send a new contract, so that comes up to discussion. Is that an open forum, or is that something to discuss in open, or is that an executive session?
Yes, it's open.
So she did send a new contract and agreement for us to review, and basically it's the same pricing as what they were going to charge us previously, at the 12.5. So I guess the questions are twofold. One, if we accept the contract, then we would have them for this next year, because it's a year-to-year contract, it looked like to me when I reviewed it.
Yes, it is.
And then second, do we want to pursue alternate testing? And I did ask Chief, and Chief said most agencies are using this agency.
Yeah, they're widely known and used. I haven't heard anyone have any complaints either, so. Smaller agencies will do their own testing, but more antiquated. Then that's not something we want to do.
Right. And I think previously when we looked at this in the past, there's another option, but it's like up in Chicago or somewhere up north. There wasn't
Yes.
anybody else local. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of opened up discussion. We know the prices are gonna go up in time. And the second one would be, would we need to budget it? Needs to be budgeted for 2026 if this is what we're gonna go for, because we'll just have one hiring process in 26.
Correct. Well, you alternate unless a list runs out and the department is shorthanded. You would alternate. This year, 25 has been a promotion process year. Next year would be a new hire process year.
So we would be looking at the 12.5 for this upcoming year if we only have the one.
Was that the dollar figure, Mr. Hollis, for the promotion, or is that the dollar figure for the new hire?
That dollar, the 12.5 I'm using is for the promotion. Let me scroll through here and see what she had in the exhibits. Let's see.
It's certainly possible. Sorry, go ahead. I'm passing the statue of Ben Franklin now.
So according to what's on here on the exhibit, for the applicant written aptitude testing,
Okay.
$1,500 for the first 25 applicants, $30 for each additional applicant. And that includes the test monitor, so that would be $1,500 there.
Yeah.
And then for the oral interviews, it's $1,600 for the first 15 applicants. For 1 day, so if we do 2 days, there's an additional fee.
You might recall from last year, in the last new hire process, and I'm parking, I'll be in just a moment, that we saved some money by not generating new questions. We cut a step out of it. And so I would suggest, well, I'll be in a minute. If you want to hang up now, and I'll be in a few minutes. Okay, bye.
And the 12.5, to kind of clear that, that is for both the sergeants and the lieutenant, so it's like 60 if you, it was $2,500 extra add-on for the lieutenants.
So is the charge scale based on 25 applicants?
that Dorn law?
And that's the baseline?
was earlier.
20, up to 25
That's,
for all line items?
well, it was 15, I noticed that's a little bit different, it was 25 for the written, and then 15 for the oral. It's 16, 15 is the base fee, and then after that, there's an additional over 15 for oral and 30 for written over that. And I don't think we've ever filled, at least not in the last few years, had more than 25 tests. I know it's been a long time since we had double-digit interviews.
But we're talking about potentially in this coming year signing this for lateral. That seems like a tremendous amount of money for one.
Well, it wouldn't be for lateral. There's no cost in the lateral.
Okay.
Because we do all the lateral work. So there's no work.
There's no scoring through these folks for the orals or anything?
Correct.
Okay.
So it would just be one, potentially one test.
And I think I'm busy.
That's correct. We do all the lateral work internally.
Just, thank you.
So what I would suggest for tonight, already had the discussion about the difficulty in finding another vendor. It's that Chicago vendor that works with IMPD. And that was the only one that the chief and I really discovered when we last looked at this 2 or 3 years ago. But, so if you decide, okay, we want to stick with IPSP, I don't know that you need to approve the contract tonight, because we typically start the process in the spring, not in January or February. So you can look this over tonight. We can talk about, we might negotiate with them as we did last time, and make a decision either in January or in February.
Yeah. From my standpoint, I share just with Joey, they're very responsive. We always have really good luck with them, they're very professional. They do what they say they're going to do. And that's, it's a tough time sometimes.
They do. I mean, Amy Emerson is very good at her job, and the people who work for her are as well. And that's I guess that's the answer to why it costs so much.
Right.
They know what they're doing.
And I guess, you know, the thing is, I think what kind of shocked us on this one was there was some extra fees on here that I don't know that I see in the current contract, like job service, job analysis, development of books. So I think that's something that we need to kind of figure out. This project development charges, I think, were some of these charges that
Right.
that's not on the contract she sent. So,
Maybe we should, the two of us, talk to her, actually have a phone conversation with her.
Okay.
And notify her that the 9,800 has been approved, and I'm going to come back to that in a second, and that we'd like to talk about 2026, and we'll walk through it all.
okay, yeah, because like I said, I think that's what caught us off guard, because there was $6,200 in project development fees. And I don't see that in any of the 3 attachments she has
Yeah.
that she sent us, now that I look, more closely at it.
Yep, so I'll communicate with her, and we'll get that issue straightened out, and we'll talk to her.
Okay.
And we can report back to the the rest of the body.
So basically, the summary on it is we're gonna approve the 90, do we need to make another motion?
I was going to say, I think the clerk treasurer's office, having received a valid claim for the 12/7, needs to have something that erases that in the record. So
Okay.
I think a motion to supersede the earlier authorization and sub for 12, it wasn't 12/7, it was 12/2.
It was 12.5 and then 9.8.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it
the
is.
7. And to supersede it with the 9/8 and pay the 9/8. Is that your motion,
That's
sir?
my motion.
Okay.
We have a first, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion on this? All right, so the motion is to approve for the 9,800 for the testing agency. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes.
Okay. That'll help.
And then we'll try to
them.
clarify that so that we can maybe bring everything in January and or have everything sent for everybody to review in January and then maybe make a decision in February. Because that'll give everybody time to look at it. All right. What else do you have in your, for the attorney's report?
That was it, IPSP.
Okay. All right. There was, I'm gonna go back up to the top if that's okay now. For claims, there is a claim for Mr. Barrett, $1,514.17 for work from September through current.
I move that we accept that invoice.
Second the motion.
First and a second. Any discussion? It's in your packet also. All in favor of approving the claims, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's passed.
And we had minutes too.
Yeah. We have okay. So we have minutes to approve from the October 7th meeting. Everybody's had a chance to review. We have a motion to approve minutes for October 7th.
So moved.
I have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
Was that you, Les? I'm sorry.
Yep.
Les, a second. Thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes from October 7th, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Excellent. Also in the packet is the proposed dates for 2026.
Catch that.
Right, your rules require that you meet on the first Tuesday, except in May, August, and November, and that you don't meet in July and December. This year we got off track because the second Tuesday of November is Veterans Day. That won't happen again until 2031. And when it does, if we're all still here, I'll ask you to set a special meeting. And it would be a special meeting because your rules require it, and to change your rules, as you know, is a big deal. And so let's not worry about that again until until 6 years from now. And as far as this year's lack of necessity to move it because of Election Day in either May or November, this is the trough year of the election cycle in Indiana, of course. 3 out of every 4 years you do have an election. This is the 1 year you don't. So those are the dates that fit with the rules that you've passed. So I'd ask you to approve them.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the 2026 meeting dates?
I move we approve the 2026 meeting dates for the mayor board.
Second.
Go ahead.
David? First by Doc, second by Josh. All right. All in favor of approving the 2026 meeting dates, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. All right. chief, attorney. Anything
That's it.
else?
From,
Any
not from
new,
me.
any new business that hasn't been discussed? No. Any old business that we need to review? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I had Josh and Joe.
I'll take a second.
Awesome. All right, all in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, thank you, everybody.
And again, my apologies, gentlemen.